All right, I'd like to welcome Bob Cowen, Director of the Hatfield Marine Science Center, to give us an overview of what is Hatfield. Welcome, Bob.
So Hatfield started very small as a one building fisheries lab. And in the mid-century, it started its expansion, first with a dock for small boats, and then finally the establishment of the Marine Science Center with a new multi-laboratory building and a visitor center. And this official opening was in 1965. So we're 55 years old. Well, I think we've come a very long way from this early campus to where we are today. We have 49 acres. We have ship operations. We have Oregon State buildings. We have federal and state agency buildings. And very importantly, we have a growth in people that have filled those buildings. The real strength of our community here is the commitment and the knowledge of all of our people. We are about 450 strong now, placing us as one of the nation's largest marine laboratories. Over the 50 years, as I mentioned, we've added these buildings and we've added agency partnerships that have blossomed into this strong community of collaboration. Most recently, we have the new Gladys Valley Marine Studies building. And this new addition, this new facility is going to add significantly to our research and academic programming. The top two floors here that you see on the rectangular part of the building are research and office spaces. The lower floor of that building offers two new high-tech classrooms as well as a wet lab for teaching. We also have an expanded auditorium and the new innovation laboratory. One of the design structures that you actually see in this picture is the fact that the building was designed as a tsunami vertical evacuation center. So we have the ramp heading up. There's also hardened stairs and elevators inside that we can move and sustain up to 1,000 people on the roof. But we are more than just the buildings. Who are the people that are part of Hatfield? And this has been mentioned, there's 7 colleges. Here's the list of the colleges. And you'll see that it's a diverse set of disciplines, from ag sciences and College of Science to veterinary medicine and engineering, education, liberal arts, and earth, ocean, and atmospherics, so oceanography. It's a very diverse group that are all represented here at Hatfield. Within those individual colleges, we also have a series of institutes, centers, and initiatives here, as some of them have been mentioned in our welcoming. Coombs, Simmers, Marine Mammal Institute, the Marine Studies Initiative. We also have programs like the Molluscan Broodstock Program, which is a large aquaculture program, Oregon Sea Grant, the ship operations, and even a K through 12 Oregon Coast STEM hub. So these programs bring an additional sense of diversity to the type of work that's done here. But we're more than just OSU. We have strong relationships with our federal and state agencies. NOAA is mentioned frequently, often thought of, at least in the public, for the ship ops that have moved here. But NOAA's been here, a member of the community for a very long time from the research perspective. There are 4 different divisions or groups within NOAA represented here. The Northwest Fisheries Science Center, from which Kevin directs, does research on ecology of marine and anadromous fish species, predominantly groundfish and salmon, from the Pacific Northwest region. We also have the Alaska Fisheries Science Center, which is represented by the Fisheries Behavioral Ecology Program. And their work is on fish behavior and environmental variation impact on the distribution and recruitment, primarily of Alaskan marine species. We also house the Pacific Marine Environmental Lab. I know it says center, but it's a laboratory. And PMEL houses the Earth-Ocean Interactions Program, which studies natural processes between the solid Earth and the ocean, particularly at the sea floor. And focus there is on geological, chemical, and biological aspects of hydrothermal vents. And then finally, when the fleet arrived here, the Marine Operations Center from the Pacific supports the operations of 5 of NOAA's ships, which operate within the Pacific. And overall, the NOAA fleet's role is to support and collect environmental, oceanographic, and geodetic data, which is essential to meeting NOAA's mission. And by having them here, it gives us direct access to many of our NOAA scientists and even university scientists to shipboard operations. Besides NOAA, we have the USDA, particularly represented by the Agricultural Research Service, or ARS, and they conduct research and technologies to improve domestic aquaculture production, here with a local focus on the molluscan shellfish aquaculture, or oysters. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife focuses on the restoration and conservation of coastal wetlands, and they also serve as stewards of coastal Oregon's national marine refuges. These are very special places, and the fact that Oregon has these marine refuges is really important in my perspective. The US EPA has a laboratory here where they focus on research on impacts of environmental perturbations to coastal ecosystems and estuaries in particular, with a focus on climate change and ocean acidification impacts. And then finally, there's the EPA. And finally, we have the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, which is responsible for conservation and management of Oregon's coastal and marine resources, so sort of inshore 3 miles. You'll see across these different agencies and OSU that there are a lot of overlap, but there are also a lot of key specialties. And this brings a wide variety of areas of research. And so Hatfield is really sort of a mesocosm of all aspects of marine science and scholarship. So what's sort of some of the impact of this? Well, from a fiscal perspective, we have a combined operations and research budget of about $43 million per year. That enables us to do a lot of sort of cutting edge research, supporting a variety of students and scientists in their work, but it also has a very strong economic impact on the local community on the coast. And not just fiscally, but the intellectual contributions that come from the lab in supporting the natural resource economy, for example. We also have impact on support of students through graduate and undergraduate programming. With the presence of so many PIs and faculty at Hatfield, we have a current graduate student residents of about 35 PhD and master students. And we also, through courses, and this is expanding with the activities of the Marine Studies Initiative and the new Marine Studies major in the College of Liberal Arts, that is bringing from 75 students per year up to 100, 150, 200 over the next couple of years. We also gain substantially through the experiential opportunities that we can provide students, not only working in the labs of OSU faculty, but importantly in our partner agencies, the laboratories of the scientists there. This gives a very broader perspective for our students that come in for internships. We have funding from the National Science Foundation for the REU program, and we also have funding from our various agencies to help support this. So this is a fairly large internship program. And then we also have outreach and education outside of the university, K through 12 learners. We bring about 35,000 K through 12 students through Hatfield every year. This is a remarkable number. It's supported by the Sea Grant education, and the Visitor Center brings another 150,000 people to Hatfield. So we're very visible and a very impactful place. The fact that we have so many people coming through clearly draws the attention of not just Newport, but the entire coast and the entire state. So that they all sort of have a feeling of ownership of us, and as they should. We're a state facility, and it's great to have that sort of recognition. So that's sort of where we're at, and it's amazing how we've gotten to this level. There's been continual growth from the very onset, but I think as we look forward, the next year, the next 5 years, there's so much more that we have opportunity to explore. And I'm just going to go through a few programs that are present and are growing, as well as some new ones that might be forming. So first of all, we have ship operations out here that are run by the CEOS, the College of Earth, Ocean, Atmospheric Sciences. We have several significant ships, including the Cayuse now, the Oceanus, the Cayuse before that, and the Pacific Storm, which is run by the Marine Mammal Institute. But we also have a new regional class vessel, research vessel, that's being built through the design from OSU, and it will be delivered to Newport, to OSU in late 2021, and should be available, I believe, in 2022 for research. This will enable us to do a lot of very high-tech, state-of-the-art research in the coastal and actually Pacific-wide sorts of studies. We also have growing partnerships through the presence of different programs. OOI, which is the Ocean Observatory Initiative, a very extensive set of sensors that are connected back to the coast, real-time data feeds off of Newport and upward into Washington waters. We have PAC-WAVE, which is wave energy, but they're developing a new facility which will include research and development just south of us from Newport. And then our linkages with some of the existing centers, and I just list here the CGRB, which is the Center for Genomic Research and Biocomputing. Our interactions with different scientists with their facilities, with their computing capabilities, are constantly pushing them to look for new technology and new ways that they can help us. So we have a great partnership with all of these in terms of our ability to conduct science at state-of-the-art means. We have new leadership. Last year's first summit, we had the opportunity to welcome Lisa Balance. There's her second day as the new director of the Marine Mammal Institute. Well, this year we can welcome Francis Chan, who is the new director of CIMMERS, the Cooperative Institute of the Marine Resources Science, taking over from Michael Banks. We recognize, many of you recognize Francis, he's around here often, but we welcome him in this new role, an exciting time for the Cooperative Institute. We have new people coming, additional people, and I'm just going to highlight one group here within the USDA, in ARS. ARS is adding 2 to 3 new scientists to the Hatfield contingent. Each of these scientists will bring staff and research staff, and we'll be working closely with the molluscan broodstock program with Chris Langdon. But the skill sets that they're bringing will add other opportunities for collaborations, particularly in genetics, genomics, and eventually physiology, to add on top of the ecology that's done here. So this sort of growth is a real tribute to the current environment that we have for collaboration, but also is a real addition for us that we're proud of. We're also expanding through our linkages with the College of Liberal Arts, and it just overall the value of taking STEM to STEAM, so bringing the arts and science together. It helps scientists look at what they're doing from different perspectives, and the artists help explain and help interpret some of what the science might mean or could to the larger community. So we have residency programs planned, new collaborations, new courses. This is, I think, a fairly exciting opportunity for us. We've even built into the new building a studio for visiting residents artists. And another area which I'm particularly excited about is the new Murdoch Innovation Laboratory, or iLab, which is built into the new Valley Marine Studies building. This is a space that will enable innovation, technology, developing new sensors or new tools that you might need. It will have not only the tools there, it'll have people to help in training how to use those tools. They're familiar with design, or that can help you work through some of the technology. And so we're envisioning for students, for faculty, researchers, and even the community, a variety of new opportunities to innovate. And this is, I think, is a really exciting part of what we're looking to in the next couple of years as we expand that. And finally, we've also been approached by members of the legal world who are very interested in hosting having us host a Ocean Law Institute. This would serve sort of as a think tank or training seminar sort of place, where they would focus on the interface between ocean law and marine science. It's an exciting potential opportunity for us. It would certainly move us in another direction. And I list all of these just as sort of a excitement about what's coming in the next years. These are all here almost already. And today's meeting will hear some specifics about work that's being done. But as we get also into the discussion mode, we can look at all these different potential opportunities that are right around the corner. So who is Hatfield? Hatfield is you. It's everyone that's on this line, all of our colleagues here. It's all the energy and excitement that occurs here. And I want to thank you all for being here, for being part of Hatfield. It certainly makes it an exciting place for me to be here. And I hope that today's summit really shares some of that excitement. So I'm going to leave you with a video. It's a very fun video put together by Mark Farley. And it's sort of a rah-rah to warm us up as we head into the Ignite talks. And welcome everyone. Thank you very much.